Someone very profoundly once said, many years ago, that if fascism ever comes to America, it'll come in the name of liberalism.
Oh, beautiful, full spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Patriots and Petticoats, it is my pleasure to welcome you aboard Flight 1776 with service to the United States of America and continuing service to a more perfect union. Federal regulations require that carry-on items are stowed prior to closing the aircraft door. Your items may be placed in an overhead compartment or completely under the seat in front of you. Use caution when placing items in or removing them from the overhead compartment, and let us know if we may assist you. In order to expedite the boarding process, please be seated as quickly as possible after stowing your items and take a moment to review the Constitution and Declaration of Independence located on the device in your pocket. If you are unable or unwilling to perform the functions as described on those documents, please let us know and we will find a more suitable destination for you. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to spending our evening with you. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Tuesday night's Patriots and Petticoats. We have full house this evening. Both of my co-hosts are here. You have Chris and Eric. I'm excited, Eric, to have you back. Hopefully we don't lose you or system failures. We may get a full show out of you. I will be excited about that.
Looking good. We're tracking
Chris?
for full show.
Chris is traveling again, back in a hotel room
He's
because
really
that's where
committed
he
to
lives.
the bit.
No, This is 2 weeks in a row though, so that's exciting too. I'm pumped that consistency is key for 2024. Like that's my vibe, right? Okay, we're gonna start off light just while we let some people trickle in. I want to talk to you guys about the Stanley Cup craze. So this kind of couples with the Eric, you weren't here, so I didn't discuss the virality of the North Sea posts that have been like, I've never searched for the North Sea. I've never been interested in the North Sea, but I am constantly being fed videos of the North Sea.
I wasn't interested till I saw a couple, and
Right.
I love it. So I like them all, and now they show
Well, and
up.
it's the yo-ho. It's like it's the song like drags you in as soon as you see it. So the Stanley Cup craze, Stanley's been around for like 100 years or something. It's been like a I remember my dad had one of those green thermoses that he carried with him everywhere. Those big Stanley thermoses with the little cup.
Handle that flops
and
down.
The handle. Yep. So I admittedly, and people are probably going to laugh about this, there's a girl who I had on my podcast. Her name is Hannah. And she and I had made it towards like the end of the podcast where you're just kind of bullshitting a little bit before you end the show. And she was like, she said something about Stanley Cup. And I was like, what are you talking about? The Stanley Cup? Like hockey? Like, yeah, of course. Like the hockey girl who loves hockey. You say Stanley Cup, that's immediately what comes to my mind. She's like, no, the cups. And so then Ainsley asked for one for Christmas. And it was like one of 3 items on her list. And I was like, what is going on? Like, why do you even want this? I've bought you countless cups. And so I have a couple of videos I'm going to share with you guys. And hopefully My computer cooperates better this week. Chris, don't be shaking your head.
Well, it's just because I've always had a couple Stanleys, but now if you open up the kitchen, there's pink Stanleys, and I've never.
Oh, we're gonna talk
Yeah,
about the
I
pink
got like
Stanleys.
a hypercolor one over here.
Oh, bro.
Purple and pink and shiny.
Both my daughters are all about them. Like,
Okay,
my Stanley. I'm like, what? Fucking, you work
Just
at
one day
fucking
we woke
Walmart.
up and it was a thing.
shit. We're not on here anymore. 4:40 a.m. She arrived at Target to get
I told her, I'm like,
a Stanley Cup that Target has, right? This man's like, what the hell are you guys waiting for? Do I want one of these things, right? So she's frozen.
they're probably like, this fool's outside waiting.
And
Do you
now
think
they're
it's a
like
deep need to
excited.
belong to a group?
I don't know.
30 to 40, like they said.
30 to 40 cups. 4:40 in the morning, she is waiting.
It's so cute.
Hey, yo. On the real, what are we putting in the
That's a
fucking
$400 Lululemon
Water.
hoodie,
Look
too.
at all of them. Look at them. Lined up for days. What? It gets better. I have another one for you guys.
Who started this fad?
I don't know.
There was the root of it is there was a video of a lady whose car burned to a crisp.
Yes.
And she pulled her Stanley Cup out and it still had
And it
ice
still
in
had
it. I
ice.
guess
She shook it and still had ice in it.
this whole thing spawned from that.
2 per person.
Mom, you got two? If you're getting one.
Mom, you got two? I got 2 hands.
What are
I
you
just want
gonna
a
do
video.
with
This is
4
funny.
Stanley Cups?
That's the
Okay,
great thing
so-
about a high quality cup like that. You only need one.
Right.
For 20
right.
years. That's the
Yeah.
point of it. That's why you're spending $8.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. They're like 40.
They're expensive. Yeah. So real quick, through the chat real fast. Tex says, hi, Eric and Chris. Handsome. Hi, Heather.
That's
I hope
Eric.
you're doing wonderful. You look lovely. Thank you, Tex.
You really do.
Heavy says, Hotel Chris. Good evening, friends. And Fox says, dude, you can get a Yeti the same size.
And you can get
It's
an
true.
Ozark Trail for a quarter as much. That works 90% as well.
Yes. Ozark Trail from Walmart. Huge fan. Also, okay, so I have the
If you haven't got one of these for
Stanley.
Christmas yet, who are you? You're not doing life right. You're an asshole.
Yep.
If not one person in your family, because you only need one. You could have got it 20 years ago and it's still good.
Right.
Yep.
So
You
this
just peel the
is
stick off and you
Simply
don't want 'em
Modern,
anymore.
$20 for this 40-ounce cup. It's like my life. I love this
Gotcha.
thing. Okay, so it gets worse though, and I'm sure you knew I was going here. So
You have
here's
Starbucks, guy?
Is it Riley? Don't tell me you
Four
got
must-haves.
TikTok of Riley.
First up is this silicone boot that serves as a cushion cover for the
Oh,
bottom.
for
It comes in two
accessories.
sizes,
Cushion for
30
your
ounce
cup.
or 40 ounce with a custom
Don't
tip
talk
that
like you
helps
wouldn't buy a
prevent dents and
suppressor for
scratches.
your
And I
fucking-
love these cute covers to help keep my straw clean. Next
Straw
up is a
suppressor.
snack tray that's designed to sit around the top of your tumbler so you have quick access to your
A
drink
snack
and
tray.
your snacks at the same time. It also comes with
Oh,
a protective
for
boot for the
fuck's
bottom
sake.
and holds a good amount of snacks. Plus, it includes other accessories like this straw topper. I love using this while watching TV or while I'm in the car.
So
This carrier is another
While
favorite,
I'm in the
especially
car.
if
It
you're interested in
already
family
keeps it
members.
ice
It
cold
secures
for
around
a
the cup with
week.
Velcro for
What
a
do you
nice
need to
snug
wrap
fit,
it
and
for?
is cushioned with a soft material,
But it
providing
needs-
a
it
protective
needs a
barrier
jacket,
and an
and it
optional
has a
adjustable
strap.
shoulder strap, so your tumbler feels comfortable while you're
They
holding
made it a
There's also
purse.
this pouch that's designed to strap onto Stanleys, so you can keep a few of
gets
your
better.
important belongings like a cell
Oh, I
phone,
pray to
key
God
fob,
my
and
daughter
card
never
holder all
discovers
together.
these
The strap can
accessories.
adjust to fit any size tumbler and makes it so convenient if you're taking your drink into a workout
It's
class.
so
And
convenient.
lastly,
It needs
this initial turn
jewelry.
comes in a 2-pack and can set your Stanley apart so you know whose is whose. These are all super affordable and on my Amazon and my LTK.
No. If
I
they're more
fucking
than
love
5 cents, they're
America.
not
I
super
love
affordable.
America, man. Hey, God bless them. They're like, give me a mold in here and some silicone. I'm fit to get rich. I don't
Yeah.
mind this at all. You know
Yep.
what? Here's the deal. I was about to just say, if you're dumb enough to fucking buy it, amen. Capitalism at work. But I don't
Yep.
want to say dumb enough because when I go home, I might have. Sometimes I buy shit that I don't know I'm buying.
Right.
So I could definitely have a straw topper and a
Either
fucking
that
Suzy-Coo.
or Kate and the girls are watching the show right now and they're like, oh
And
my
they're
God,
buying
that's
it now.
so cute. And they're buying
Yeah.
it right
Weggy
now.
will 100%.
That's
If
worst
Reagan
case
gets a hold of
scenario.
that,
Yeah.
If Riley sees the strap, she's gonna be like, but for softball, Dad. For softball tournaments, it's gonna be phenomenal. I'd be like,
man.
I've been carrying this around before you were born. I've never had to have a strap.
How about you
They
put
pour.
a
Oh,
little
whoa, hold
pocket?
on. It gets better. They pour their sugar water Sonic drinks in them. So
It's not even
here's-
coffee. Go fuck
listen to
yourself.
me. Look.
When I did my hydration station tour, so let's put it to use. I am making a peach
that
ring
she's
water,
huge.
which is inspired by my favorite water TikTok, Lauren. You're starting out with a Sunkist peach packet, and then I'm doing 3 pumps of cherry. I feel like all gummies have some kind of vanilla aspect, so I added 1.5 pumps of vanilla almond.
Brought to you by
Overall, this water is really
Monsanto.
good, so like 7 out of 10.
Whoa, look at her. That's why. That's too many pumps. One too many. Honey. Did you see what they showed at the end after all that? After all that shit, when all of us parents are like, oh my God, and at the end they're like, bloop. And we're like, what? Well, at least we're telling
We need
the
to
truth.
enact a one
You know
pump
what?
rule.
We're just
Oh my
saying
God,
what
you're
it
making
is
me
now.
cry.
We're just saying what it is.
Oh my God, that's too many pumps. It was too many.
Too many. Back up, girl.
You can't.
Oh,
How
thanks
did we
for the
take-
tee up
how
on
did
that
we-
one, Fox, by the way.
How did we go from good coffee mugs to making obese children? Stanley, you've done it wrong.
Right.
They're like, keep printing the pink ones.
Yeah. Oni says, how's it going, cuties? Hi, Oni. Good to see you in here. Oni is working on some artwork for our Thunderdome spaces that we are getting ready to
Let's
start up.
go.
So that's exciting. Hydro Flax, they're all a ripoff by a generic. That's what I did. Tech said, I thought women had tiny bladders and couldn't drink much liquid. I don't wash my coffee cup out at work. Am I supposed to? I don't.
No.
I have a teacup that I keep like not washing. I'll rinse it out or whatever, but it keeps the flavor in it. It's so great. This is why Iran beats their women. Angela said, what a bunch of suckers. Tech said, I would have trouble drinking 40 ounces of water, beer, coffee, and or cola.
Yeah.
No, come on, Tex. You can do
Yeah,
it.
like back in high school when they would duct tape a 40 ounce to your hand. That was a job.
Fox says it is less cringe than pencil design dresses and monograms. I don't know. I really like monogrammed stuff, Fox. So listen, you're treading on thin ice right now. Mercury said we're
I
doomed.
got a whole bunch of donuts.
Oh, nice. Heavy said she should go work at Starbucks and get paid to make the drinks. Big facts. Speed running diabetes. Laughing. Chris, stop hating on fat people. No coffee cups are like cast iron seasoning. Yeah, see?
Yep.
I agree. I'm right there with you. Okay. On to the okay, so Chris, back to your point that you were making about this being, essentially like good capitalism. Like you see a desire or a need for a product and you make the said product, right? These people are capitalizing on this. And I know I've got a lot of my 3D Second Amendment printers. Start capitalizing, bros. Like go out there and make your little snack tray or whatever for the Stanley Cups. Go make that
What you
money
need to
while you
do?
can.
You need to make a little pocket that sticks on the bottom that you can put an air tag in. Because the only problem I foresee is losing this thing.
Ooh, that's a really good idea. I like that idea.
A magnet, sticker magnet, maybe type situations.
We always talk about how much money the Cabbage Patch Kid that made.
Yeah.
But there was a whole bunch of people that made accessories for Cabbage Patch Kids that made a damn good living too.
Yeah.
We
That's
need
true.
to get into the Stanley accessory business.
The neoprene sleeve
Hollis
gets me though. What are you protecting it? Like what are you doing? Is it a sweater? Like
I
is
need
it
that.
cold?
We
You
need
can
that for
change
fishing gloves.
colors.
Stop wasting all the
Crazy.
neoprene.
You can change colors, make it fun. It's exciting. Maybe you can get your favorite football team.
Yeah,
know what
whenever
I'm
you want to
saying?
be.
Like that's
you know,
all. It's the same shit everybody in this motherfucker are with their ARs. Bring Curtis on here. That motherfucker is like, if he was into Pokemon, he'd have them all. So if he was in the Stanley Cup, he'd have all the accessories because he's got He's got red dots for all his guns and 6 more red dots over there that aren't open just because I like them.
Right.
You know what
That
I'm
makes
saying?
sense. Yeah.
Well, that's why Peanut and Tata cannot see that video.
No.
Can't get in their feed
Oh, that's
because I'm going to
great.
go broke. And I
I
can't
got
call people that
worry
buy them
about
dumb.
seeing it at school.
Oh,
So I
God.
may or may not have accidentally deleted my PowerPoint slide for today.
Oops.
So I'm just going to have to try to remember what articles I wanted to talk about. But, we'll just start with the first one. So there is an illegal immigrant who is charged in a fatal DUI crash that killed a Colorado mother. This child was deported, or this man or whatever was deported 4 times, sentenced to probation only a mere few days prior to killing this woman. He's a El Salvadoran. His name is Jose Guadalupe Menjivar Alas. He's 37. He's racked up numerous drunk driving related charges in Colorado since 2007 and had been sentenced just days before the accident to probation. And now a mother is dead. So this, is just kind of like dipping our toes into this whole idea of would that mother have been alive now if you had kept the border closed or enforced
Pretty
the
sure.
actual deportations? You've deported him 4 times. But the reason that 4 times is important right now, Congress is in the process of trying to impeach Senator Alejandro Mayorkas from being the
Homeland
Homeland
Defense.
Security Secretary. So here's a clip of him. It's fucking gross.
Most of the migrants that we spoke to, specifically in December, they come with no address to go to, and they're coming because they're being released. What are the consequences that are going to be taken with these migrants that are being released, and especially the ones that are coming because they see that it's easy to get here?
Well, first of all, I would take issue with your characterization that it is easy to get to the United States. I think we all know very well the perilous journey that migrants take in the hands of ruthless smugglers who don't care about their well-being. They care only about making a profit. That perilous journey has been reported and has been shared with us as Border Patrol
Do you hear
agents
the
interview
drive for empathy?
migrants.
They had a
It is
long
very
walk,
important to
guys.
understand
Yeah.
that when an
From all the
individual is
NGOs
released,
that
they
are
are
giving him
released
lifts most of the way.
into immigration enforcement proceedings where they can make a claim under the laws that Congress has passed. And if their claim does not succeed, they are removed and they are subject to a 5-year ban on admission.
So let me explain why this is bullshit. I think there's like 400 immigration judges. I could be wrong on my numbers. You guys don't quote me on this, but I think it's somewhere around 400 judges. And there are millions of these asylum claims in backlog. Millions. There's no way with the number of judges that they can ever make it to these millions of claims.
That's a feature, not a bug.
Correct. And so they're just, when he gets up there on that microphone and says, and if they are found to not be here the way they're supposed to, they're deported. Yeah, but how long does that take? Like you could be releasing somebody and their date to appear, it has been continued and continued and continued.
They're years
And-
out.
And,
For
and
their whole
nothing
life.
happened. Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah. In perpetuity.
They're not
Like, it's-
going.
Yeah. And so I have another, I'm really pissed about the immigration stuff. So I apologize to the audience and to my co-hosts, but I have a lot of shit to get off my chest about this. So here's another clip. This is people crossing the border into the United States. And I just gut reactions. I want to hear what you guys think about this clip.
I think I might have to fight those dudes.
Where you guys from? Africa, where? What country? What country?
Togo. Guinea. Oh yeah.
Okay. So your thought, Eric, you said, I feel like I'm going to have to fight those people. Chris, what's your like gut instinct?
Why do people vote for this?
Okay.
Because
They
they
cheat.
felt like it was a
Listen.
humanitarian thing. They wanted to be
But they
good
continue
people.
to vote for this and vote for this and vote for this. Why? Why?
Gotta be
tell you a
social
little
pressure.
story. Let me tell you a little story that just happened before I came on here. All right. I work nationally. So I'm on the phone with a coworker out in California. In her 30s. We started talking about politics. Gavin Newsom, I brought up Gavin Newsom. Because we were talking about some Freon laws. That's how we got there. And I'm like, hey, why do y'all vote for that? And I kind of was laughing, like, I just threw it out there, like fishing. Like, all right, I don't want to end up in HR, but
yeah.
She was like, I don't. And she's like, I don't know a Democrat. We were all Democrats, and she's Latino. And she was like, my whole family are Democrats. My whole community are Democrats. There's not one Democrat left. All politically homeless. Everybody's voting for Trump. That's what she told me. She's just outside of Oakland, California.
So,
I said, how big's that wave? And she said, I don't think we can flip this state presidentially. She said, I think we can flip it at a state level. But she says if Gavin Newsom runs for president, that she said Biden has a better chance of winning. But she lives in a California bubble, and I don't think they like him very much. And he does regulate the fuck out. And she did. She explained it all. She broke it all down to me. And she said, my family owns a lot of restaurants in Oakland and have for years, and friends of family in Oakland. And she said they're all protesting right now and closing and protesting because the crime is so bad. She kept saying, Christopher, you don't even know how bad the crime is. The crime is so bad. She said, Chris, they go in and they steal $900. They get a $50 fine. They make more than we do. They're never going to quit. But this is our home. This is our home. That's what she said. But she said she doesn't. She said they're all politically homeless. She's got a big family, she said.
So, okay, let's back up real quick. There's back to the drink real fast. Heavy said put an RFID on it. Maybe one day the cup will make the drink. Remember Pet Rocks. The sleeve is to cover up the fact that you weren't able to find a pink. That's great, Angela. Mayorkas only lies when his lips move. Get it off your chest, Heather. I'm going to in just a moment. Heavy said, my first reaction is that big ass wall didn't work behind them. Pure empathy bait. As a first generation immigrant from a socialist communist country, it infuriates me to see this.
Yeah. And our buddy Elio says the same thing. He came here from Cuba.
Yeah. So here's when I watched, there were multiple of these videos, but when I watched it for the first time, like my gut instinct was, okay, I've looked at a map of the globe, and Africa is an entire fucking ocean away.
Mm-hmm.
So not only did you travel across an entire fucking ocean into another country, you then trekked through that country to come into this one illegally.
Why?
Knowing, right. So like,
funded by who?
Right. Okay. These gentlemen looked fairly well dressed, nice jackets, had some backpacks or whatever with them or what. Could you
they don't look like the caravans of people that I saw coming in here like 10 years ago. The like beaten,
The
downtrodden
actual
people who
destitute, downtrodden
Yes.
individuals. These are
Yes.
people that are well funded in getting into this country. So the question I have is, where did you get the money to get
George
here?
Soros.
I want
Yeah,
to be
there's
really
some political
careful.
favors you can be careful, but there's some political favors being paid back right now, and George Soros is behind all this, and he wants that border open, and goddamn it, it's open.
So I think that one of the really dangerous things that happens is everybody points at George Soros as a big boogeyman.
That's
And
a lot of money.
many of these NGOs are funded by the United States. Like our own taxpayer dollars are going to these NGOs that are bringing these immigrants into our country. They're coaching them on what to say. They're educating them on how to speak to the Customs and Border Protection agents. And all you have to say is that you fear for your life in your country. There's like this list of things that you say that are trigger words that you are granted an asylum hearing at that point.
Like,
And they know, again, not very many judges, way too many fucking cases.
Like in
I'll tell you
Scarface,
this.
he's like, I told them I was in sanitation. They didn't go for it. He's like, no, I told you to say you were in a sanitarium. A sanitarium.
Your impersonations are always so good, Eric. Oni said, cough, free Democrat votes, cough. Okay, so Oni, I'm really glad you said that.
I am convinced they have
love-
strict instructions to vote Democrat.
Our audience is giving us like just straight into what I want to talk about. So here we go.
In New York, we have a
I'm glad you
diaspora
brought
that can absorb a significant number of these migrants. And when I hear colleagues talk about, the doors of the inn being closed, no room in the inn, I'm saying, I need more people in my district, but just for redistricting purposes. And those members could clearly fit here.
What?
Yeah, but
It's
listen,
not even about the votes. It's about the population because the United States Census counts undocumented individuals and gives them the numbers they need to redistrict.
if you go back and listen to George Soros, he did a full interview for 2 hours. He laid it all out. He talked about the districts. He talked about it all. He said this. He said exactly what he was going to do.
I am not saying, Chris, that George Soros is not involved in this, that he isn't
it's a
funding
big
some
plan.
of this. But
it's the Democrat Party. It's all of it.
Yeah,
It's
he's
what it
probably
is.
integral to it. Like this goes back to
It's
the
not just
2020
him, but
riots.
I'm George. So it's the WEF. Now they're voting on a huge bill at the world level in April that will give up all. We're going to give up all of our rights at any kind of pandemic that the WEF says. I mean, I don't know if it won't pass. I mean, or is that a myth, Heather?
No, that's true. They are going to try to vote that in. They're going to try to say that the World Health Organization should now have like extra power and authority in other countries for uniform response to pandemics.
But it'll be for us too.
Oh,
they're
yeah.
going to name it something catchy and great and non-threatening.
It's already named. It's on the table. They're voting.
Yeah, it's been there for a year and a half, 2 years. Yeah, they've been, debating it.
We will give our rights over to the WEF or the WHO or
The World
whatever
Health
they call it.
Organization. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll give our liberties to them during a pandemic, and then they'll give them back. So it's cool.
Like,
Merck
what would
says
Thomas
NGOs.
Jefferson say?
I agree, Merck. I think the NGOs are largely. There was a huge expose that was just done recently of one of the NGOs that is actually providing the funding for these organizations.
Who's putting the money on the cards?
You
Is
just
that
got
the
to.
UN?
The United States.
It's us.
Oh,
it's probably a mix of names. It's kind of everywhere.
What's happening is the United States is funding the NGOs. Look, we don't have the manpower to take care of this. So your nonprofit organization, your non-governmental organization, we're going to give you this grant money, this excessively large amount of grant money, and you're going to allocate those funds and resources to the influx of migrants that are coming.
And
across
they
the
get
border.
donations from other people. So they're well funded.
So like George Soros
And,
is donating
also
to the
other
NGOs.
governments are in with us. But but the main deal right now is they have to change America. We are way to our liberties, our shit, go fuck yourself. But so if they flood us with 10, 20 million, they can start to break that culture down if they keep doing it.
And let's not forget, these people will reproduce
at a rate that we are not.
Tech said apparently people fly into Ecuador from places like China and walk in. Even the people in the beginning of Trump's term looked different. Undocumented Democrats. That's absolutely correct. I don't know what you're talking about, Heather, but it's good to see you in here, my love. Trump tried to stop that too, and they overrode that. And to the World Health Organization, but we're still sending aid to those countries.
Yeah,
of course we are. We'll send you money. You send us your people so we can change our entire demographic in our country.
We'll send you some money. You send half of that to this NGO, and then we'll take these people, and you can have half.
Right.
And then you're helping. Yeah, it's all fucked up. Can we just get somebody in there that will just take a fucking chainsaw to it? Just be like, fuck all of you.
Yeah. Okay, I'm trying to think of how to lead into this because there's a couple ways that I could do it. I'm going to do it with this girl first.
Understand how the news has been dogging Gen Z and calling them lazy for not wanting to work a 9 to 5 for the rest of their lives. Let me put it in perspective for everybody who's a little confused here, okay? I work 5 days out of the week, 40 hours a week, okay? I do not make enough to live on my own. I would not make enough to pay rent, water, electric, and eat. All by myself. I would not be capable of doing that. 20 years ago when you were getting started, you could live on your own. 20 years ago when you first started, you were able to do everything that I am now struggling to do. Let me add another perspective here. You've been working for 20 years. You have 20 years of working experience behind your belt. You have 20 years of experience in a career that has allowed you to gain raises, to get more money, to profit you in an economy that you created. You can sit here and you can call Gen Z lazy all you want, but I've been working my tail end off just to barely make it by. And respectfully, I don't want to do that for the rest of my life. I don't want to work my tail end off, wasting all of my life working just to barely be able to pay my bills. And that is what you created, not Gen Z. We're just here getting started. You've been doing it for the last 20 years. You tell me how it got ruined. We can sit here and we can call Gen Z lazy all you want, but you let the economy turn into what it did. You let it all run to hell. And now it's Gen Z's fault because we don't want to work to fix your mistakes.
I think she's a good kid with a lot of great points, but she has the wrong villain. It's not just people older than her. It's people who voted in these policies that now groceries are twice as much. You're muted, Chris.
It's also her parents, all right? Because maybe she has some unrealistic expectations, but she's wearing the same vest that my 17-year-old wears to go to work.
Yeah.
And she wore that, she's 16 now. She's about to be 17, but she's been wearing it since she was 15. So, and that's not the job to have.
To be self-sufficient.
You still could. Like, Riley could work 40 hours a week, and she could go get a studio apartment like the rest of us and go get some wire spools for fucking dinner tables, because that's what we had.
Yep.
And then find a couch on the side of the road and be like, fucking yes. Take that couch off the side of the road and go shampoo it, or run it through the car wash with the fucking power washer and air dry that motherfucker and stick that in the living room.
Yep.
So that's how we lived, honey.
Center was made out
so
of
if you want to know like how we started, that's how we started.
Right. I think
we didn't have a $40 Stanley Cup, number one.
Nope.
And there was no $5 fucking Starbucks coffee.
Right.
You were on a budget.
that's so it's really interesting because they have grown up in this lavish lifestyle. And what I mean by lavish is not even that your family is wealthy, but your family didn't
starve.
Yeah.
You didn't hurt for nothing.
Right.
You got
And
what you
you
needed
have a
when you
job.
needed
Like
it.
you are earning income right now. You are an employed individual in this country. I think that one of the valid points that she does have, I think about Ainsley. So we're looking, 6 years from now. She's like college. What's college going to cost by the 6 years from now? What is
Nothing. Work really hard and do your math. It will cost you 0.
And then what about buying a house? Like, what are interest rates going to look like then? What's property value going to look like? I sit and I think about, so this girl is experiencing a really bad time to get started in life. I imagine that people who got started in 2008 felt just like she did.
Mhm.
So that's why the millennials were so jaded for such a long period of time, I think.
Number
And so,
one. Oh, go ahead. Are you sorry? I thought you were done. Nope.
no, go ahead.
You
It's
said
okay.
so. No, I was just gonna say though, real quick. We always say that we like. I even do it. I'm like, God, we must spoil our kids. They're fucking. But most of America would have been spoiled the same way if the same technology was available in the 90s. But we didn't have. It just wasn't there. There was nothing to buy. They bought us Cabbage Patch Kids and Nintendos and fucking Air Jordans and Bull starter jackets because that's what the cool thing was. But we didn't have iPhones and computers and internet and cable TV and all this crazy shit.
Yeah.
To even spend our money on if we wanted to, even if we had $1 million, it wasn't invented, so we didn't have it. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is we spoil, not me, but I would say the masses of America probably spoil their kids a little bit more than what their parents did, but there's just a lot more available. You know what I'm saying? To buy now. That most of those parents would have bought for their kids in the 50s if it was available. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I think Gen Z we have really made it comfortable to be a human from birth until 18. It's very comfortable. There's not a lot of adversity. So we make it up. They make it up in their own heads because you need a little in that age group. You need to go out and hit your head and skin your knees a little bit. And you need to have some failures and flops and get called out for it and fix it and then go and do it again and win. And that's important to building character and building an American citizen, in my opinion. So it's so comfortable, right, Heather? It's really it can be really. We probably make it a little difficult for our kids because we understand that, but for the masses, it's really comfortable. You could really do school online. You don't even have to get out of bed.
So to finish my thought, the one thing that I think that is different is also the ability for you to constantly be comparing your life to others that are in completely different zip codes, completely different lifestyles, completely different worlds. Whereas when I was growing up, the only person I had to compare myself to were the kids that I went to school with. So same relative median income. You did have your rich, spoiled kids, but like you're looking at some LA Gear shoes that light up when she comes to school. So,
but you knew them since kindergarten. So you still knew that they shit their pants in the second grade at Miss Schaefer's building. So it doesn't matter how much money you have, motherfucker.
Right. And so
you build a community. You were in the community.
Yeah.
The community.
And so now you go look at, and I will even catch myself often. I'm on Twitter. I'm like, why? I put so much fucking work into everything. Why do I not have more followers? Why did nobody like that video or that article or that whatever? And I get caught up in that. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm just going to stay in my lane, do my fucking thing, and then I'll be okay. Like I will find myself doing that. And I'm fucking 40 years old. So these kids.
You're not.
I am. I am 100% 40 years old.
Wow.
Don't argue with her. Corn pop.
I have earned that 40 years, damn it. These young kids who, number one, I think have already been emotionally stunted because of access to social media. They haven't had personal interactions the way that they should and could. And then now they're looking at Kim Kardashian and they're like, I'm working at fucking Walmart. Why do I not have a better life? Let me go start an OnlyFans.
Yeah.
It's like, it's crazy to me. Okay, let's go to some of these.
OnlyFans isn't the place to go anymore because fortunately there's just not a lot of expendable cash floating around like there used to be during COVID. I bet a lot of girls made money during COVID because them stimulus checks, boy. At home all by yourself, no worky.
The people who have
see
been buying up
awfully
houses.
large number of OnlyFans accounts still popping up.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. We call that
I have
World
no
of
idea.
Warcraft, and we
World
don't
of
participate.
Warcraft.
So, Heather said this girl only works 40 hours a week. Why doesn't Gen Z Walmart lady get skills to get paid more other than Walmart? Yes, things are more expensive.
Learn to weld.
Chris, go pack go. These are both Wisconsin boys. Oni said 100% what Eric is saying. Good idea, bad target. Local rent out here in bumfuck Kentucky has damn near tripled as of the last 4 to 5 years. Wow. Big facts. So right now, but I'm not going to get into all the specifics, but yes, I was looking at a 3-bedroom apartment to temporarily, because of water issues and stuff in my house, have another. I would be paying rent on 2 places for a couple months while they fix my house. And for the house that I live in, it's a 2-story, 5-bedroom, 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, game room, very large house on 6 acres of land for $1,200 a month. And a 3-bedroom apartment is $1,680. And so I was like,
you should take a 1 off of that. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's bad. And I'm in southern Indiana. I'm not even in Louisville proper. So if that gives you guys any sort of perspective.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's bad. Casey
you
said,
know what you should do?
Thought we were the shit.
You should go buy 1 acre of land with nothing on it, and we'll just dig a fucking well and we'll build a fucking house with the trees that are on that motherfucker. Fuck them.
I didn't grow up with cable TV or Air Jordans, Tex said. Ken said entitlement, attitude, and refusal to live at or below your means as well. Absolutely,
that's the problem.
Ken.
They don't want to sacrifice the frappuccinos.
They don't want to sacrifice. They do not want to.
It's not even sacrifice. Not having Starbucks is not a fucking sacrifice.
Exactly.
For fucking fuck's sake. God, I just had this. Can you feel it? I had this conversation with my fucking 16-year-old. Like veins popping out of my head. Like it was intense. I got a little intense. Like, hey, that's not a deal. We're not doing that.
Heavy said lazy parents just hand their kids the phone or iPad. Yes.
Giving the good sweatshirt to your little brother, that's a sacrifice.
Floridian said bingo. Fox said 50-year-olds were able to buy their first vehicles off of a paper route. True story. Can't do that today. 20 years ago, you could work at more places as a teen, too. That's true.
Yeah.
These days, most large chain grocery stores don't hire under 18 because of insurance, not to mention state labor laws. Tex says, in my own town, adults have the paper route. Fox said, these days you have to have a phone or computer to even apply. That's true.
Yeah.
We can go in on some land in Evansville. I would love that, Heavy. Ken said they expect to move out and have everything mommy and daddy gave them at home. Also true.
Mm-hmm.
Or they just stay at home because now the government allows you to carry your kids on your insurance till they're 26 years old. So
a lot of you have never had a port wine sandwich and it shows.
Or fried bologna. Like that's I might probably after we get off the show today, I'm gonna go make myself a bologna sandwich because that's life right now.
Fried bologna sandwich? That's legit. With a melted fucking a melted cheese.
So they turn into a little sombrero.
with
Yeah.
Miracle Whip for all you haters out there. So
Nah, fuck that mayonnaise.
I grew up in a Miracle Whip and
Elements, baby.
Velveeta house, and I will not eat either one.
bologna is underrated. People sleep on bologna, and they should not.
Hey, dude,
It is a good lunch meat.
I get a big bologna loaf and smoke it for about 16 hours, and it's phenomenal. With brown sugar and mustard all over it. Smoke it. It is phenomenal.
Okay,
That's good
stop
football
talking about
there.
food. I'm going to end the show early so I can go eat. I am hangry. Angela, I knew we were sisters for a reason. It's perfect. Okay, so we're coming off of this little girl talking about the situation as far as finances, right? So this is Corinne Jean-Pierre in the White House press secretary room.
January 12th, the president will travel to Allentown, Pennsylvania, that area to discuss how communities across America are coming back thanks to Bidenomics and his Investing in America agenda, which have ushered in a small business boom, created good-paying jobs with rising wages, strengthened local economies, and lowered costs for hard-working families. Bidenomics, it's working.
Wow, I've never heard somebody believe something they said less than that.
Bidenomics, it's working. I can't even make eye contact with you
even
because I know
look
I'm
at
fucking
us.
lying. Like, it's bad. It's so bad. And honestly, I don't know if they're going to televise these little stops that Biden makes because he, like Pennsylvania, do you think he's going to get a good reception in Pennsylvania right now with the steel mills that were just shipped off? Like, that's going to go so poorly for him. Isn't that the same area that he almost got into the fight with the union worker?
Oh, I thought that was Detroit.
No,
maybe.
it was Pennsylvania. No,
I thought it was Pennsylvania.
It was
the
Pennsylvania.
AR-14s conversation.
No. This was where he was touring the factory, and the guy had a hard hat on. He was doing like a union talk, and Biden like got in his face to where the aides had to like grab Joe Biden's arms and pull him back from hitting this man. I was like, man, if he would have done that, maybe we would have a different president.
That temper behind closed doors has to be
it's bad.
fiery.
Well, and you have to also think about, like, I feel like I do believe Joe Biden has dementia. I do believe that cognitively he has mental health issues going on right now. And there is a part of me that wonders, because one of the things that comes along with that is extreme anger and frustration. And so I wonder what that looks like behind closed doors that nobody's talking about because they want to keep their jobs.
Yeah, I bet it looks like Gavin Newsom in about a month or two, and we don't have time for a primary now, so we're just going to go ahead and give a nomination. Fuck RFK, fuck Bernie Sanders, fuck all of them.
I love you, Heavy, but I am a Miracle Whip girl.
Bring out the Hellmans, bring out the best, Heather.
Fried bologna sounds delicious. Now I'm hungry. Love me some Miracle Whip. Yeah, girl. I love you, Angela. I've missed you in here. I know you've been super busy, so it is good to see you in here today. Flirtian said, I have 4 kids in college. They're still living at home. Very expensive out there. Mater sandwiches are life, brothers and sisters. I like the
I could
cold
hang
cut
out with
bologna
her.
with cheese and mayo. God, she's horrible at her job. Yes, she is. She's really
the worst
bad.
one we've ever had, and that's really saying something.
She's probably working with the worst. She has to pull off the worst lies too. Yeah, there's not many people that can stand up there and look good because you know you're lying. I know you're lying. You're still saying it. It looks like shit. Like even if you put fucking Pamela Anderson up there in 1993.
Remember Baghdad
like
Bob?
Yeah.
She reminds me of Baghdad Bob, who would stand up there and tell you, we're winning the war. The Americans are running. Everything's going amazing.
Why are they letting the only black press secretary be the fucking this is bad. What they're doing to her is bad.
What they've done to her future career is bad. No, who would hire her?
Never be taken MSNBC, but
that's it.
She'll never be taken serious. And she'll always be a character, a meme forever.
Right.
They shouldn't be doing that to her.
Fox says maybe he will meet with Strokeman and revert to 1995 Joe Biden. I'm not gonna lie. So real quick, just because you brought this up, Fox, Fetterman is like dark horse. Like you have a stroke and it's like his brain reset. Like it is It's the most bizarre thing that I've ever witnessed in politics. He's like,
we're
a
just
completely different
watching
person.
fucking Common Sense, and we're all blown the fuck away.
Because it doesn't exist in Washington.
That's crazy, right, Heather?
Right,
Though, like,
yeah.
because what he's saying should be bipartisan, normal. He's not saying anything. He's not saying everybody keeps their guns. It's not what he's saying.
Right. Casey
He's
said it
saying
would be,
shit that we used to all agree on.
Casey says it would be hard to be good for Joe.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't do anything correct.
A lot of us that are in our 40s have our widowed or divorced parent living with us. Old
Mhm.
people are struggling right now. That's
They
very
are.
true,
Yes.
Heavy. Where is his wife? That is really interesting. So
Who?
since he has kind of like
Fetterman's?
recovered, Fetterman's wife would take photographs and crop him out of them, of her like standing in the Senate. Do you guys remember that? Like right after he got elected, she would stand next to like his office door where it's like Senator Fetterman or whatever, and she'd crop him out of the photograph and it'd be like her. It was super bizarre. I have not seen hardly anything of her. I'm sure she's still there. I don't want to speculate on that because I don't know, but I have
You
personally
think he
not
woke
seen.
up and was like, you're a little fucking out there.
You're a
You need to get the
socialist.
fuck
I'm
out of
not
my
sure I
shit.
can be married to
Yeah.
you anymore.
Yeah. I don't know what I was thinking. But you're back.
Okay,
Because that's what I keep hearing. Because real quick, I listen to a lot of podcasts that are on both sides, right? Everybody. I listen to everybody. And the progressives are not liking Fetterman. They feel like they were duped.
the progressives feel that way.
Progressives. Yeah.
Oh, that's
And that was the
interesting.
other thing that my friend from California said earlier. She was like, we need to make something very clear, Chris. I was like, what? She's like, there is a line between liberals and Democrats. They are not the same. And that was just how California is looking at it.
Right.
Like
Okay,
the
so Joe
party.
Biden states his case for why you should.
Choice is clear.
Whoa.
Donald Trump's campaign is about him, not America, not you.
Grounded?
Donald Trump's campaign is obsessed with the past, not the future. He's willing to sacrifice our democracy, put himself in power. Our campaign is different. For me and Kamala, our campaign is about America. It's about you. It's about every age and background that occupy this country. It's about the future we're going to continue to build together. And our campaign is about preserving and strengthening our American democracy.
The word democracy has created extreme pain inside of my brain.
Does it even exist here anymore? Because pretty much everything is shoved down our throats now.
Yeah. What's up, Ammo, with your jizz on your couch? It is good to
That's
see
fucking
you in here.
phenomenal. That's phenomenal. Hey, how the fuck did the Simpsons know how to make Mr. Burns at? Like, how do they always know?
I don't know.
And I can't even
The
look at that
simulation
dude
is
now.
real.
I can't look at that dude now without seeing fucking the movie Poltergeist. That fucking dude, that old fucking priest guy. I can't. He's a cartoon or he's from a fucking horror movie. That dude, I can't even look at him anymore. Beady-eyed old prick. That's what Patriots over on Rumble. Sorry, he's like, hey y'all, watching my NHL ticket take torpedoes. He goes, beady-eyed old prick. That's what he is.
What's that, Patriot?
What up, Scott?
Scott says the largest issue for Biden is the border. If that
Yeah.
keeps up, we are done as a nation. Scott, you
I
should have got
agree.
here
And that's
earlier,
why they're
bro.
kicking
We
it
did
into
a whole
hyperdrive.
border talk.
We did do a big border talk tonight because it's fucking important. That's the deal.
So as Joe Biden makes his case, and none of us fucking like him, his numbers are abysmal. No president has ever been reelected with the numbers that he has from an approval rating perspective. So I noticed, I'm starting to see, you guys know I do my morning show, so I've constantly got news aggregate feeding into my phone. Lots and lots of articles of Michelle Obama popping up. And so I'm
Big
like,
Mike,
okay, well,
Yeah.
what's that all
Big
about?
Mike.
Let's see why Michelle Obama can't sleep.
Are we moving at all fast enough? What are we doing about education? Are people going to vote? And why aren't people voting? Are we too stuck to our phones? I mean, those are the things that keep me up because you don't have control over them. And you wonder, where are we in this? Where are our hearts? What's going to happen in this next election? I am terrified about what could possibly happen because our leaders matter. Who we select, who speaks for us, who holds that bully pulpit. It affects us in ways that sometimes I think people take for granted. The fact that people think that government, does it really even do anything? And I'm like, oh my God, does government do everything for us? And we cannot take this democracy for granted.
No.
And sometimes I
No. Government does do everything for us.
Why the fuck does every dude dress like a fucking bitch? Why is that guy dressed like a fucking bitch? I can't fucking take this shit anymore, man.
And just like a woman, they can't wait to tell you how much they paid for it. It's so weird.
For fuck's sake. I can't.
Did you guys watch that whole interview?
No, I just saw clips where she said she was terrified. I think
then
it's
there's
the
the part where
chest.
she says, I didn't clip this one, but there's a part where she talks about how she's in pain. And I was like, pain? What fucking pain are you in? So let's talk
Bitch,
about
you got
this.
infinite
This
money.
is what's infinite.
Infinite.
I got
Oprah
fucking
money, bitch. You got
notes right
Oprah
here.
money.
Ready? Her net worth is $160 million.
Just
she
her
earns $35 million annually from book royalties, Netflix and Spotify deals, speaking seminars, and business conferences. She is the richest first lady to ever grace the White House and doubles her net worth every year. She will eventually become a billionaire, but she's in pain. And
she's a man, so.
Oh my God. Ainsley asked me today if she's a man. And I said, what makes you say that? And she goes, well, I typed in Michael and like whatever like her name is. And she goes, and pictures of Michelle Obama came up. And I was like, that's me.
That's America, baby. What's your algorithm?
So
have you, while we're on the Obama,
that's funny.
not to get
That's
totally
good though, right, Heather?
sidetracked. Have you seen this?
Give it to me.
This video editor who says they're putting low frequency MK Ultra shit in the Leave the World Behind movie on Netflix?
No way.
He's like, there's always a video track and an audio track, everything I've ever edited. And here there's this other thing now. He's like, this is a low frequency wave throughout.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know how, I see Wall Street Apes tweeting about, oh, Community Notes is on it. 5-to-1 surround sound contains an LFE track. The low frequency.
Oh, you
effect
almost had one.
for your subwoofer. Damn, I thought we had something. Thank you, Community Notes, for not letting me go off the deep.
I do love Community Notes. I think it's like the greatest thing that has come to Twitter since they started.
Every time I see somebody asshole get community noted, I put the Ultimate Warrior coming off the fucking top rope.
I should do for like the end of the year. I should go get like all of these like community noted posts from like the president and all that stuff, and do like an end of year like with the emotional music in the background, like the
October 15th.
We're like
October 15th. Let's do that October 15th.
Oh, right before the election.
Yeah.
Here's all the times you guys tried to lie to us. Da-da-da-da-da.
You can hear it. You can hear it.
Oh my
right?
God.
Yeah, you can hear it.
So it says, she said in the past she will never run. It's too late to get on the ballot just for the primary. She can run in the actual election. The general, thank you. Speaking of elections, there is something coming up. What did I texted you, Chris? What was it?
I don't know.
Okay. In the meantime, I'm going to go through these chats real fast. She said in the past she'll never run. It's too late to get. We already said that one. Big Mike is repeating Democrat talking points about democracy. The 9 most dangerous words are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help, from Reagan. That's true. Big Mike is worried about... Do what?
In the Discord? I don't know.
No. I actually just texted it to you because it was easier. Hang on. I couldn't, my phone wasn't working, so I don't have Discord pulled up yet. Hang on.
Big Mike is worried about our democracy.
March 7th is the State of the Union address, and I would like to live stream it. I don't know, you may not have even got the message. So March 7th, put it in your calendars. We're going to do... I'm going to play a drinking game with the audience. We'll get, key phrases that Joe Biden is going to say. This is the latest State of the Union address that has ever been done before. So I thought that was pretty fascinating. There are no pictures of Michelle Obama pregnant, says text. Heavy says, Chris, stop. Michelle Obama is not a man. But what she is the darling of the Democratic Party. And the reason it's important is because now you have the cackling fucking hens of The View all about it.
First Lady Michelle Obama visited Jay Shetty's On Purpose podcast and shared her biggest concern about the 2024 election and whether people realize what's at stake. Take a look.
Are people going to vote? And why aren't people voting? Are we too stuck to our phones? I mean, those are the things that keep me up. What's going to happen in this next election? I am terrified about what could possibly happen because our leaders matter. The fact that people think that government, does it really even do anything? And I'm like, oh my God.
Oh, wait, hold on. Let me fast forward. I don't want to listen to her again.
I agree with Michelle Obama on that much politically, but she's spot on. And I think she's a very effective messenger to say this. I think she's speaking to how a lot of the country feels. Like when I'm not on the show, I usually split my time between Florida and New Hampshire. And what I hear from Americans is frustration with the direction of the country. They don't necessarily blame Biden, but when people feel like they're not getting ahead or it feels like we're going backward, they do blame the leader in charge. And careful with polling, but Joe Biden is about where Jimmy Carter was before he didn't win re-election. Yeah. I think she's saying something important. The one thing we all agree on at this table is that Donald Trump is a threat to the future of this country. And if we get to a place where he's the nominee, there's a non-zero chance he beats Joe Biden, and this great American experiment can kind of fall apart. So I think she's rightly ringing alarm bells.
She is, and it's interesting because we talked about it yesterday. You weren't here, but we talked about this theme.
It gets better.
When he first started running, it was, I'm saving the soul of the country, and I think it really resonated. This theme of, I'm saving this country's democracy. I don't know that is resonating as much with young voters. I don't think it's resonating as much with voters that feel that their station in life is not what it should be. And I'm also echoing her concerns about education and voter engagement, because she said, I am hyper-focused on this lack of voter engagement. And that's where I am. I mean, she's raised her kids, she said, certainly to be very politically active. My kids are very politically active. I don't see that amongst their peers sometimes.
These young people they don't understand a lot of things because they're young. I don't know what happened before my time as much as I know in my lifetime.
Dinosaurs.
You don't know.
Exactly. Thank you, Sarah.
Well, part of it is
you notice it didn't get a laugh.
Yeah. But part of it is their education.
What I was going to say is what they have to understand, these kids, is that we've never had a sociopath running for president in this country before.
Or who
They've
was
all
president.
We never had that before.
You know
This
what
is
scares
something
me
new.
more than anything is the fact that we live in a world where cheating is possible. And I'm not worried about what the voters are going to do.
I can't with these fucking.
I'm worried about people like Elise
airtime.
Stefanik, who says, I may not certify the election.
Has she said that?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, she's all in for Trump.
So for me, I'm not worried that people aren't going to come out. They will come out. I
Should be.
believe they will come out. Young people are pissed, and they know what they need to do because they've heard it and they know the drill. But I don't know what to do and how to convince people that when people like Stefanik say, I'm not going to certify it. And then other folks who are elected officials say, well, I'm not going to certify it either. I don't know what that does to our democracy. So democracy for me is at stake because everything that I know that is tied to it is questionable now because of the way people are doing stuff. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No. I was just going to say, I agree with what she's saying, that it is taken for granted, but I think bigger than that is there's a media fatigue and a voter fatigue of hearing about dropping the word democracy January 6th. For people that understand how serious that is, we're like, yes, keep screaming loud. For people that don't want to hear it anymore, they're just turning their ears off. It's not moving needles.
Yeah, but that's what people do. People don't want to hear about, any more, women protesting because they've lost the ability to dictate what they want to do with their body. They have fatigue. They don't want to hear about black people saying, this has been really tough. They don't want to hear about that. There's so much we're fatigued with that we are on fire. So just know that your piece of the world may be exactly what we're talking about. You may not know that it affects you, but when it affects me, it affects you. We're all connected. Isn't that freaky?
I don't like these people throwing around the phrase "this great American experiment" because I don't think they know what the fuck that means.
So
because
this
they're
is
making
really,
a new one.
So I have been, for people who are tuning in that may be interested, normally I don't do personal plugs because that's just shitty. But right now, we are reading the Anti-Federalist Papers and the debates from the Constitutional Convention for Liberty Library. And it has been, so I've read the Federalist Papers more than once. Like, I'm very well versed on the Federalist Papers. I've never read the Anti-Federalist Papers. And it's been very enlightening. At one point in time, did you know that our government wanted 3 presidents, not 1? And it was heavily debated and contested as to which would be a better, because if there was just 1, you could start to see it turn into a monarchy. And so the idea that this country was just founded on a whim where they're like, okay, we're just going to kind of throw this shit together, that could not be farther from the truth.
It's
And if you really want to have a discussion
out.
about that, please come Wednesday nights. So tomorrow night at 10:15 Eastern time. I know it's late. You can always catch the replay if you don't want to come to the actual recording. But anybody who wants to tune into that, I highly encourage you. It's on Twitter Spaces. It's a really, really good, kind of just like digging in and really understanding. I look like I'm fucking fisting a whore or something when I do that.
I was thinking melon baller.
It's like, what am I doing right now? Okay. Scott said, what if the DNC takes Biden out before the convention in March and Michelle steps in? Which
That's
I
what
have
JP
thought
Morgan says is going
for
to
a
happen.
very long time. I have thought that Michelle Obama was the candidate for the presidency for the Democratic Party. I thought that last time, though. Like, I predicted she would run. Scott said, I don't think Biden will be the nominee. The DNC is going to get someone else. I agree with you. I don't think that he's going to make it to the end. The View is a complete joke. Yes. However, and I want to make this point, Chris, going back to what you said earlier, like, I can't with these fucking women. They're so stupid. Like, yes. The problem is all of the fucking wine women, all of the women that are in that spinster fucking age category of, I really liked killing my babies when I was younger, so we should still be able to kill them now. That group of individuals is watching The View. They're being influenced by The View in numbers large enough.
There's nothing you can do about that. Right?
Well, I mean, you can at least talk about it and talk about why they're wrong.
Oh, yeah. It's just hard to fucking, God, they're fucking ignorant. They're just, they're really dumb. Like, they live in such a bubble. And they just won't hear anything else. Like, I wish they'd bring you on there so you could just be like, listen.
Oh my God. They couldn't handle me on there. Okay, so just a couple things, and then we'll get to two truths.
But what
and a
about this
lie.
voter suppression thing, real quick? Remember, that's what they were talking about, some of it, right? Michelle was scared about voter suppression. Didn't they have the most votes ever?
They were scared about turnout. They're scared
Didn't
about
they just
lack
have
of
the most voters ever?
They did, but I think they're a little afraid they can't cheat quite as much this time. So they need people to actually show up and vote.
Oh, that's gonna be tough for him. Sorry about that, Big Mike. That one's gonna be tough for him.
So
because I think young kids are gonna show up. Sorry.
No.
They're just not gonna vote for Biden.
Yeah.
Like Riley and all her friends are. I can tell you that. They've like made it a whole day. Like they're planning a whole day around it. It's like gonna be like fun.
I think voting is fun, but I'm a loser.
I always walk in and say I'm here to save America. That's my favorite part of voting.
Yeah.
And they always get the laugh.
Over on Rumble, Patriot said she stole it from taxpayers. Note to self: never let steps set me up on a blind date. Okay, so big news. The Secretary of Defense had prostate cancer, had the surgery to have his prostate removed, and then had an infection, a urinary tract infection, so bad that he was hospitalized in the ICU for 3 days and did not bother to notify the Biden administration.
Well, there's nothing going on militarily, so.
Right? And so the crazy thing about this, like, I get it. I think it's Kathleen Hicks is his second in command, is the person that was in charge when all this was happening, but he's the commander in chief. If something
Wasn't
had
she on
popped
an
off,
island somewhere?
oh, maybe, I don't know.
I think she was on vacation.
Even better. So, well, and they said that Lloyd Austin has returned to full duty, but he's still in the hospital right now.
Duty.
So, I think about, like, what if something had popped off and Joe Biden's like, oh, we need to make we're going to the Situation Room, send fucking Secretary Austin a message telling me he needs to be there. And then he's not there because, oh, well, just kidding. He's in the hospital right now. He's undergoing surgery right now. You know what I mean? It's it's crazy to me. So Peter Ducey had some questions in the press conference room today about this situation.
John, what kind of commander-in-chief is President Biden that at a time when American forces are under fire in the Middle East, he can go days without knowing that his defense secretary is in a hospital bed?
Peter, there's a lot to your question, so I want you to bear with me for just a second. First of all, at no time was the ability for the United States military to defend our national security interests compromised. At no time was the commander-in-chief not always in command and control of our military forces around the world. And over the course of those days, we did take military action that he approved, taking out a senior militia commander in Iraq with what we call a dynamic strike, a strike that he had approved many days before, for which the theater commander had full permission to execute. We did shoot down drones and missiles in the Red Sea, our ships at sea, because he made sure they had the existing authorities and the capabilities and the training to do that. So he has been on top of these issues all the way throughout. Now, look, where your question kind of gets to is, and I've seen some of the sniping out there, how effective can the process be if the secretary can be gone and we don't know about it? I think what you need to understand, and what I hope people will understand, is that the national security decision-making process does not require, in fact, should not require, cabinet-level officials being the sole people in the room making decisions on any given day. You staff these things from the middle up, and then the cabinet officials, whether it's Secretary Blinken or Secretary Austin, come together as appropriate to make the key decisions, which happened. It happened on the 1st of January. If you'll bear with me, because I think your question really gets to a bigger issue, and I'd like to just, if I could, with Kareem's permission, I just want to walk you through a little bit of timeline here, because I think it's important context. So on the 31st of December, that was a Sunday, Jake Sullivan held a lengthy secure telephone conference with the Central Command Commander, General Kurilla, to discuss a bunch of issues, the situation in the Middle East, and of course there's a lot to that. The next day, on the 1st of January, President Biden convened a secure telephone conference with Mr. Sullivan, with Secretary Austin, with the Joint Chiefs Chairman, General Brown, Secretary Blinken, the DNI, the CIA director, and other members of the team. They covered developments in the Middle East. President Biden directed the NSC, Department of Defense, and the State Department to accelerate work with allies and partners on a joint statement on the Houthi attacks in the Red Sea, which was to be issued, according to the president's direction, no later than Wednesday. You saw we did that. I came to the podium and read that out. From Monday, the 1st of January through Wednesday, the 3rd, the National Security Advisor, his deputy, Middle East Coordinator Brett McGurk spoke repeatedly with their counterparts in multiple foreign capitals to secure the support for that joint statement. Senior NSC officials coordinated hour by hour with senior Pentagon officials who are also making phone calls and securing support from foreign partners. The President's final approval on that statement happened shortly thereafter, and as you know, it was issued on the 3rd of January. Also on the 3rd, there was a Principals Committee meeting on Haiti.
Okay.
And neither Secretary Austin...
Juicy comes
Detail on that, but more broadly,
unattended.
Do you, is he getting paid by the word? Because he just said a whole bunch of words. None of them answered the fucking question.
Right.
He started talking about Houthis in the Red Sea.
There was a few adjectives that had like multiple syllables. That is good.
Yeah.
Because we were just doing this with Reagan the other day. So I'm proud of our government getting that right at the podium.
Right.
He might pass an 8th grade English fucking report, but he didn't say anything. This is the fucking problem here. This is what America, I think, is starting to open up to. And the Democrat Party is too, though. So they're going to stick somebody in there that can win.
Ducey.
Because they're going to take a big L.
Ducey came again.
Thank you for all the detail on that. But more broadly, why should we believe anything that this administration tells us about anything ever again?
I think we all recognize, and I think the Pentagon has been very, very honest with themselves
wringing
about
his hands.
The challenge to credibility by what has transpired here, and by how
I would love to have a
hard
body
it was for
language
them to be
expert
fully transparent with the American people. I think we all recognize that. And wait, now just give me a second.
This has got to be
I know you got another one coming here,
deodorant fucking commercial.
but we all recognize that this didn't unfold the way it should have on so many levels. Not just the notification process up the chain of command, but the transparency issue. We all recognize that, and I think we all want to make sure we learn from that. It's up to you and your colleagues, and it's up to the American people to determine, how much they're going to ascribe what happened here to our credibility on every single issue. But
I know, Heather, I thought the same thing when I watched it. Like, I sometimes will watch videos first silently to watch their body language and how they're responding to something to kind of gauge, how nervous they are or whatever. And then I'll go back and listen to the audio and put the two together. Casey said, wait, I have admitted people to military hospitals and actually know how it happens. Is there something that they're saying that's incorrect, Casey? I'd be interested to hear that from you.
I would bet he would have been notified no matter what.
Right. Scott says, my old man's 77, and he has said this is the most disastrous administration in his lifetime, including Carter. That is fucking saying something, man. Lots of words, saying nothing. That one, but okay, just two more stories. Well, first of all, real quick, I don't really often give media any sort of recognition. Peter Ducey is holding it down in the press room, so good on him for holding some people's feet to the fire. He's about the only one doing so at this point. Okay, Ray Epps has been sentenced. He was sentenced to 1 year of probation and a $500 fine. And in case you don't know who Ray Epps is, I'm just going to play something just to refresh your memory real fast.
Tomorrow, we need to go into the Capitol. Into the Capitol. What? Peacefully. Fed. Tomorrow, I don't even like to say it because I'll be arrested.
Well, let's not say it.
We need to go. I'll say it.
All right.
We need to go in.
Shut the fuck up, Boomer.
To the Capitol.
Base Fed posting? All right. We need to go into the Capitol. I didn't see that coming. Okay.
Monument Hill.
Stop speaking. We are going to the Capitol, where our problems are. It's that direction. Please spread the word.
All right. Noted.
Okay, but one more thing.
Yeah, so can we go up there? No?
When we go in,
Are we going to get arrested if we
leave
go
this
up there?
here. Yeah, you don't need to get
Did you
shot.
arrest us all?
This part. He says something to that kid, and the kid immediately tears that barrier down.
Just to refresh your memory, what I just said, 1 year probation, a $500 fine. In contrast to that, Enrique Tarrio, who was the leader of the Proud Boys, was sentenced to 22 years in prison. His sentence included a terrorism enhancement to seditious conspiracy. He was found guilty of obstruction of Congress, obstructing law enforcement, 2 additional counts of conspiracy, all while being in a hotel room in Baltimore. He wasn't even in the Capitol and got the largest sentence for January 6th. And Ray Epps got 1 year probation, $500.
That doesn't smell correct.
But he's not a Fed, you guys. He's not an informant. He is just a regular dude who was not participating in any of the things that we suggested other people did. They weren't even in the fucking zip code. Oh, okay, real fast. Some reporters were caught joking about assassinating Donald Trump.
You know, the worst part is, even if he has his and he's hanging out of it, he'll be on the other side of the
I mean, if he's driving, we've got a good shot.
Yeah, if he's driving with the front window open.
Yeah, or if it's a convertible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking about that.
Yeah. Like if he just pulls up by
like
himself
JFK.
in a Miata, you know?
It's like a JFK, a Lincoln.
What sign would it be? No, a president. Oh.
Maybe someone, just like they told JFK, you know what you should do? You should take a convertible. It's so nice out.
At some point in time, whether you like Donald Trump or not, whether you support him for president or anything like that, you have to start recognizing the possibility that he is being treated differently through every avenue, media, government, all of that. All of this stuff, I didn't pull any articles or anything like that on the Fannie shit that's going on in Georgia, but that's getting ready. That case is probably going to have to be dropped due to conflict of interest at this point. Yeah.
He's crooked as a West Virginia fence line.
Yeah. So I just think that, and then it makes you wonder when everyone is against this person. Is he really that bad?
Methinks the lady doth protest too much.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Okay. I do have the tunnels under Shabbat Lubavitch. Do we want to do that real fast, or do we want to go ahead and go to Two Truths and a Lie? You pick. You get to decide, Eric.
Oh, let's do the tunnels.
Okay. So for everyone who is still tuning in, these tunnels were at the Shabbat Lubavitch World Headquarters. This is in Brooklyn, New York. And you'll hear them or see like some of the articles are referencing the 770 or 770. That's the address for this particular location for the World Headquarters. So these people that are in this film I'm getting ready to show you supposedly were trying to prevent a cement truck from filling the holes. according to the Crown Heights info, the tunnels were made in the past to expand the 770. So it was to expand this particular building, supposedly. The tunnel reportedly, and it was said that it was created 6 months ago. But when you look at these tunnels, like, it was not created.
They've been there a minute.
And it's from the mikvah building to the women's portion of the 770. Speculation is that a group of yeshiva men locked out during COVID dug the tunnels to get access to the church. Why it's connected to the women's side and there were mattresses found in the tunnels, that is up for speculation as well. There's going to be plenty more that's going to come out on this story. I want to be really careful and not say, oh, it's this. And then you come back later and be like, Heather, you're a fucking liar. So here's the video.
It's such a weird juxtaposition with cleanly dressed Orthodox Jew climbing out of there.
Right. Well, he was coming out on the street side.
Not gonna help. They try to.
So, for those watching, the people being arrested are the people who are actually down inside of the tunnel, and they're being arrested for like obstructing the police's ability and the concrete. I don't know if they show the mattress in this video. They don't. So the reason I let it play for so long, I apologize to you guys, but there is a couple other videos, clips, pictures that are circulating where some mattresses were pulled out of this area. So a couple things that come to mind. So trafficking. Are they trafficking children or women, or is there something nefarious going on in these tunnels? That's one of the speculations that's being traveled through.
I mean,
One of
nefarious.
these, right. One of these mattresses is covered in what looks to be like shit or blood or something like that. Like, it looks gross. And so I think that's what's kind of driving some of these speculations and rumors. In my opinion, if I were just to guess what these tunnels are for, supposedly these young gentlemen within the Orthodox Jewish community are the ones that dug these tunnels. In the Orthodox Jewish practice, women and men are segregated from one another. And even at church, like, you go to church, the women have one side and the men have another side where they practice their faith. This tunnel connects the two. And so there's a part of me that wonders if, this was so, because I mean, if you're going to marry a girl, she's going to be a Jewish girl and she's going to be at the church the same time you are, and you don't get any privacy anywhere else. What are these tunnels being used for? I'm not saying that's what it is, but I'm saying that's a possibility of something.
No, that's what it is. That's what's happening. So what happened was, you got a whole bunch of testosterone dudes. Some dug their way down to a piece of ass, because that's just how it is when you're 17, 18, 16. And now they're going to fill it up and they're like, go fuck yourself. This is it. This is all we got. I can go down there and Fuck her. And that's not shit and blood. That's years and years of nut and dirt, baby. And there might have been a few rock stars, so it could get pretty slippery if there's rock stars. So you never know.
Oh, boy.
It's true. Shout out to the Liberty Happy Hour crew. Would appreciate that. I'm just if Vivek was here, we're speaking truth. We're speaking truth to power. Okay. That's what's happening. And they're mad. They're going to flip some shit over if you take away if you take away their sex.
Yep. Eric, do you have any thoughts before?
Nope. I'm going to wait till all the facts come out.
Oh, you picked this topic and then you want to wait for the facts. I see how you are. You let me come out and speculate.
I think it's what Chris is saying. You can't keep people of that age apart.
Hey, if you're like not feral, those kids aren't feral. They've been raised strictly. You get people to flip desks over, there's only a couple things that can do that. Either one, they're all addicted to heroin and you're taking their heroin away, or you're taking their ass away.
Right.
There's two things. And if they're not on drugs and they're all sober, that's what it looks like when you're telling a teenager now there's no chance at all you get laid. No, fuck you. I want my chance.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay.
Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. Tell me lies, tell me lies. Oh no, you can't.
I really love that segment opener. It really makes me like, you guys can't see me, but I'm on the other side just jamming out. Like I'm so excited.
Big Stevie Nicks fan, I'm sure.
Okay, 2 truths and a lie. For those who are tuning in right now, this is a segment we do at the end of every Patriots and Petticoats episode where I write a story that is fake and then find 2 other stories on the internet that are true. And you as the audience, without the assistance of Google, and I'll get my mom finger out, don't cheat, because it's way more fun to see if you can figure out which story is the lie in our misinformation segment of our show. So story number 1, and then you put in the chat which story you believe is the lie, and you get credit, and I keep track, and you get points, and we still owe Joey his shirt. He probably hates us at this point. No. Okay. Infrastructure plan proposal. That's not the story. Okay. Global coffee shortage sparks unprecedented crisis. In an upcoming turn of events for coffee enthusiasts worldwide, reports are emerging of an unforeseen coffee shortage that threatens to disrupt daily routines and shake up the global economy. The crisis is said to be rooted in a combination of adverse weather conditions, pest infestations, and logistical challenges that have severely impacted coffee plantations across major producing regions. These factors, exacerbated by the effects of climate change, have led to a significant decrease in coffee yields, causing alarm among both producers and consumers. That is story number 1. Story number 2. A letter written by a Roman emperor helped lead a team of archaeologists to an ancient temple.
Oh, I hope that's real.
With significant insights into the social changes from pagan beliefs to Christianity in the Roman Empire, experts announced recently. The lead archaeologist on the expedition announced the monumental discovery at the annual meeting of the Archaeological Institute of America. He said he and his team discovered 3 walls of a monumental structure that appears to have been a Roman temple from the Constantine era, which ranged from AD 280 to 337. During Emperor Constantine's rule of the empire, he made the persecution of Christians illegal and bankrolled church-building projects, among other efforts, helping usher in the spread of the religion throughout the empire. Story number 2.
Shouse, who wrote that?
Story number 2. A wildlife photographer in Wales set up a camera in his tool shed to find out why objects were moving around and discovered a tidy mouse was cleaning up for him. The mystery began with some bird food the gentleman stored in the shed, ending up in an old pair of shoes. He set up a camera in his shed and ended up recording footage of a mouse making nightly visits to round up small items that had been left out and place them into a small tray on the shelf. It happens every night without fail. He said the rodent, which he dubbed Welsh Tidy Mouse, usually works alone but will occasionally be accompanied by one or two other mice. Which story is the lie?
Number 2. You needed to come up with a fake name for the archaeologist.
Oh, you guys made me cry on that one. I tried
got
so
2.
hard not to laugh.
I want 2.
All right, you guys say 2.
Yep.
What do you guys got in the audience? There's 6 of you watching. Let me check on. Oh, shit. Okay. Patriot said, I'm so sorry, Patriot. I keep forgetting to check Rumble.
He's a
Biden's-
VIP commenter.
Biden's admin is a disaster, dumbest ever. Do they all stutter and talk incoherently? I never had to dig a tunnel when I was young, laughing out loud. That's a
No.
very good response.
I
Ken
did walk
says,
far, though.
Number 3, the tidy mouse, the Welsh tidy mouse is the false story. Anyone else want to chime in?
I saw a video of a squirrel that left a guy a cookie on his windowsill, so I think these rodents are capable.
I never know how long to wait on this, but story number 1 is actually the fake story. Story number 2 is real. There is no coffee shortage coming. All of you coffee drinkers who cannot survive in the morning without your coffee, you are going to be okay. Which, Eric, to your point, story number 2 is actually real. The Roman emperor, archaeologist. That's
awesome.
A very cool thing. I'll put it on our Discord.
That's like Indiana Jones shit.
It's very cool. When I found it, I was like, because I have said, I think twice now in all the times that we've done this segment, I have done an archaeologist like story before that I've written. And I was like, they're totally going to think this was this is me. So I totally this one.
She
Have we now
double
seen
reverse psychology does.
Have we now seen enough movies that we can all agree that time travel is real? And like, there's no more debate in that anymore. Like,
you know, it's funny because we read 1984 for book club, right? And it's literally like you can see it all lining up, line by chapter by chapter. Atlas Shrugged is the same way. Like you can just see how all of this is lining up. And then I read Wrath of the Wendigo for our last book for book club, and it is written as the future of the United States, but from like this time. So like it's written in the future and it's telling the story of right now. And it made me think about, people just have really good foresight, I think. I don't know that I'm ready to quite jump on the time travel is real, but
it doesn't matter if you say it's real or not. I'm just telling you that it's real.
Oh, okay.
I mean, just like you can say
I'm a
that-
girl, so
that-
it really doesn't matter what I think, really.
You can say that peanut butter's not real, but peanut butter's real.
Eric, will you chime in? Like, what is your thoughts on time travel?
Eric, will you save her? Eric's like going, no, this is funny.
I heard an old Paul Harvey recording about him talking about the fall of America and how it might happen.
Oh, I heard that the other day too. Yeah.
He was talking
Paul
about metal
Harvey,
detectors at schools.
Yes.
Which was 20 years out.
Yep. It's crazy.
Paul Harvey was gold. Man, that whole show was gold. Paul Harvey, he could tell a story.
Yeah.
Like you could get in the car, turn on Paul Harvey, and drive for an hour. That was good stuff.
Was good stuff. All right. To everyone in the audience who tuned in and all those who listen to the replay, we love you guys. Our show would not be nearly as fun without your participation. Thank you guys so much for being here. To my co-hosts, I love you both very much. I hope you have a wonderful evening and a good rest of your week. And to To everyone else, we'll see you next Tuesday evening at 8:30 p.m. You guys take care and have a wonderful night.